Hey guys, this is Kyle with Beyond Bipolar blog along with Travis. So, as you already know, uh, I loaded a video, and this is me, Kyle, um, about not being terribly successful or feeling productive and feeling washed up. And I have been having suicidal ideations about it. So, as you know, it's probably been like 2 weeks. I started talking to an adoptee competent therapist, and my brother has joined in like twice already. So, I guess I just wanted to give a little update. I know you kind of saw my brother's post about feeling kind of like a failure, always like a failure, a loser. So, I guess we kind of wanted to talk about that today more in detail. Well, we're 34 years old, and we are creative individuals, primarily creative individuals, and this is why I'm standing in front of all my brother's art. So we've been are pretty creative, and as you probably already know, it's difficult making money from it. And my brother has been feeling kind of used, whether it's true or not, because I know there's some folks that feel like he should just get a real job. So the situation is, we live with our dad, we pay him rent. He lives on disability. I live on disability. And the problem that has always been in our mind is that, do people with disability always just, are they lazy and they just use the government? Well, I don't know. I can't really answer that. And to be honest, I do have some guilty conscience about it. And I'm sure my brother does too. But we discussed to my therapist about it. And like many other professionals that talk to my brother about uh, finding a full-time job, I'm not really they're not really sure if it's actually really a good idea, because this is kind of the problem where like people are on disability, they kind of feel like stuck in this hole. Me, I feel like I'm probably a little bit more saner. I have worked at numerous jobs. I even got myself promoted to a team lead doing test scoring. I even worked at a computer gig. And my brother, on the other hand, he actually held jobs longer than me to a point, although he wasn't really mentally stable. But the thing is, we're kind of second shifters. And the thing with him going full time is that he's going to use up all 9 of his trial work periods, and he might possibly lose his disability. So, why is this kind of important? Well, obviously, he has history of suicidality, which I worry about. And a lot of it is kind of the issue with my brother and I. We're really close, and we're twins. So it's, as I was told, we're kind of codependent on each other. So I worry a lot about him. With me, when I go out there, I think I'll be fine, because I feel like I've grown up. I'm taking trazodone. If I could just find that good shift that I'm uh, that I could work the second shift like I did at Best Buy, I think I'll be fine. But with him, I worry about him, because the thing is, with his meds, for one of them, it costs $1,200. And if he actually goes out in the field full time, and there's always that possibility of him going backwards. So I was just kind of curious about some of your guys' feedback. Have any of you got off disability? And I'm speaking for people that actually had severe mental health issues like suicidality. I mean, you have like, he was hospitalized several times, lived in a group home, and because of his history, it's kind of scary. And even though I was talking to some people, I know a few of our friends kind of believe that he's a normal functioning guy, but I don't think they understand the true history. And talk to my therapist, she feels like maybe part-time would be best. But the problem is, there's not really good part-time gigs, so maybe he might just have to do a job that he's not totally passionate about, which I'm going to talk a little bit about. Was there anything I missed about the med portion about your
Yeah, so
things?
there's also another issue when it comes to working full time. Not only would I lose my disability money, I'd have to find my own health insurance. Right now I pay $319 a month because I have SSDI over the threshold, so I actually owe in because of what they call it is they call this
The cap.
so if you make more than a certain amount of money on SSDI, you're thrown into based on scale basis. So the more amount of money
Income,
you in, the more money you have to pay back, I guess. So
supplemental income.
essentially, I get like more than the amount payable for SSDI, so I had to pay $319 a month for insurance, which isn't bad because I originally owe like over $1,200 a month for just one medication, which is 30 days pills worth, and that's 1,200 a month. That adds up. So imagine I work full time, I relapse. Uh, I'm not quite sure how this works, but let's say I've been working for a while and then I suddenly relapse after 3 or 4 or 5 years. Then all of a sudden, I had to have my own insurance. I had to pay 30%, or I go to the hospital, which is like $10,000 a piece for a week or two. So that adds up. My meds, I would still have to pay more than $319 a month probably for my own insurance. That only covers like 60%. The left is up to me to cover that. So I imagine myself in this situation where I work full time, I relapse, and then I won't have the care that I really need to get on with life and get out of this situation where I am. So I feel like, or I got to take this risk and be a little bit more cautious when it comes to full-time work, which I'm probably likely going to have my own business, which I can control my own hours, which is hard to do because you do have to work for it. Or B, I have part-time work, which I can aid myself and be somewhat stable and aid myself under the trial work period, which will grant me. So basically, let me just talk about it. So the trial work period lasts 9 months. If you're a certain amount of threshold, this is maybe between $900 to $1,000 you considered using a trial work period. This is outside your Social Security amount. If you make more money than $900 or $1,000 a month, that's considered trial work period. You have 9 of these non-consecutive, and once you use 9, you end up in extended period of eligibility. And with extended period eligibility, if you make less than the trial work period, or that less than your amount that you earn, then you're considered given that amount of SSDI that you're given previously when you're on trial work periods. But if you make more than that amount, then you don't get paid SSDI, and this lasts for about 3 years. It is noted that we're both on Medicare, and we're also both on medical assistance. So the first primary covers most of the chunk, and the secondary covers the later. I feel like because I'm on these services, everything is for free: psychiatrist, DBT, therapy, hospitalization, medication, all this threshold. I feel like for how poor it is to have a state of mind to be using the government, I feel I have a reason why I choose to do this, because there's a safety net for it.
Do you feel guilty and do you feel entitled?
Of course I feel guilty. Some of my close friends alluded to me that I should start working, get off disability, and they don't understand that I'm also a creative individual and I want to stay passionate towards it. So I feel that, in a nutshell, that half and half is them, half and half is me, but in the nutshell, I still feel like it's worth looking into on reasons on why I choose to not do full-time work.
So I guess I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the studies. So because I couldn't find a job like in 2019 that were accepting me, I thought that me working at the Best Buy gig would kind of get me in. So the story goes, since I didn't get the job, I decided to renew my certification. And I got my certification in 2009. And I think back then it was a lot easier. So what my brother and I decided to do is in 2019, in January, we decided to start studying for the certification. And there's a lot of work. Right now it's 2021, so it's about 2 years. So the story goes is I actually passed, and luckily I did. It was a lot harder test, even though it's supposed to be the easy one. I luckily passed, and I actually got my certification. There's 2 tests, about 90 to 80 to 90 questions, and you do it in about 2 hours, and I was certified, so I'm good. The problem is my brother got the certification, or tried to take the certification test, and he failed for the 4th time just 2 days ago, unfortunately. And the thing is, he was pretty close. I'll say that the test is pretty hard, because I don't know if you can see in the paper, but even on the first one, I was pretty damn close to not passing. The The very first test I got 689. The passing score is 675. So that's probably about 1 or 2 questions that I would have got wrong where I wouldn't have passed. But the second one, I did a lot better. So I thought Travis would do better, which wasn't the case. I got the passing score 700 and the candidate score, what I got was 761 for the second test. So it's a pretty difficult test. So my brother and I have been studying, and I just kind of wanted to showcase like all the work we've been doing. The first thing that we did was look at Professor Messer. He offers free IT lessons, and I'll talk a little bit about it more on my CervaComp. But we literally took like a whole bunch of notes on him. This whole binder is actually all notes that we took. So we did that, and we also took note cards. So the thing is, 2019, we're studying for the 2020 901, 902, which right now was defunct, I believe, last year. I think in June, I think, or maybe May. So what we really had to do, what we already read and took all the notes, like probably 200 videos. So unfortunately, we ended up having to redo it and rewatch the newer updated version. So this is one of the books that we actually studied from, the Exam Cram. It's a pretty good book. It's about like 300 pages, and it also comes with the exam. This is the practice questions are like 300 pages, and we actually did seriously go through each of these. Like every day, we did about a couple hours every day. So this was actually an Exam Cram book that we actually read through, and this one's actually about a beast. It's like 708 pages, which we actually read through, believe it or not. But the problem is, this was getting defunct, this version. So we actually had to redo everything. I mean, we had to rewatch all of Professor Messer's for the 1001 and the 1002. So with that somewhat a little annoying, we still managed to read through this, which is about 300 pages, and another one of this, which is about 700 pages again, actually probably even more. Yeah, it's like over 900 pages for the newer one. So we actually read the books twice, people, and we actually rewatched the videos twice. So that took us about maybe last year. So the last time he took the test, the second to the last time he took the test was like in July, and that's when we just took a break. So what we've been doing is watching another set of videos. His name's from Udemy. Do you remember his name?
Nope.
I can't remember his name, but he's a big guy, and he kind of looks like the guy from the KFC kind of ads. But anyway, we've been taking his on Udemy, and also Dion, which was good too. Dion was another separate one, which actually does something with the PBQs, which involves like tearing apart computers, and it's more hands-on, which I actually think was really helpful for me. But anyway, after all that, we even watched another 200 series of the new one, like I was saying, from the Udemy. And unfortunately, my brother took the test again 2 days ago, and he failed. So it's disappointing, and that's kind of why the feeling of the video that Travis loaded about feeling like a loser, like failure, not amounting to anything in life. But a lot of people stated that he's not a loser, he's not a failure. Maybe he just needs to take a break from it, and we'll just have to figure something else. I don't know. Maybe he might have to take courses. I know there's more Professor Messer quizzes that we have. So that's that. And where are we at right now? So I wanted to talk about like all our art. I feel like I've been a little down about it because even though it didn't seem like it, and I'll admit we don't work on it every day, and I feel like part of our failure is we haven't been working hard enough. So I guess we started as YouTubers in 2006. My brother right now is a 2.4 million view video being pianists. We started off as pianists on YouTube in 2006, and we kind of got a following between 2,000 to 2,500 subscribers. And the problem is they didn't have monetization back then, so we didn't really get money from those views, unfortunately. And when we finally got monetized, we weren't even making that much money, maybe like $99 every year and a half. But then they got even more stricter on YouTube. So go forward now, what, like 15 years, and we're kind of still in the same boat. None of our channels were successful. Most of my success is now coming from CervaComp, which I really work on. And my brother's Beyond Bipolar blog is like as a second place now because a lot of people are following that. And the third one is Korean adoptee stories, which I work super hard on.
Why don't you tell them the requirements in order to get monetized and all?
So basically, the requirements, I think there's 1,000 subscribers, which is okay. We kind of got, but the problem is the 4,000 watch hours. So they consider it 4,000 public watch hours, and that's really tough because even though Server Comp is getting like 8,000 views last month, surprisingly, almost 9,000. We'll probably get 10,000. It's still not enough to make money. And that's what sucks.
Because he has you have under 100 subscribers, right?
So I have under 100 subscribers, which is weird. Because
and you need at least 1,000.
1,000. So I just think about all this work that we've been doing. I know we're really creative. And here, hold on a second. So aside from this art that you can actually see, why don't you flip through? This is how good we are as artists. And part of the frustration is we did a video for someone. We haven't got paid, which is okay because we give in our time to pay us. But like my brother says, he feels like he doesn't get enough respect. No one really cares about the art, and it's just really hard. My brother's a better artist than me. So now imagine me. I feel like at this point, I feel like I have to let it go, and it like hurts. Like I'm losing a part of myself. But I feel like it's about balance. My problem really isn't about, I really think my problem is when I wake up, I don't know if I really want to do video editing. I don't know if I want to do art. So that's why I'm trying to go out in the field and see if I will be more motivated. But it's really hard because we have multiple talents. My brother's a good composer. He composed over, how many did you
100 tracks. 100, I composed, so I have 3 different channels. One was Duo Beats, one was Duo Tracks, and one was Real Group Station. Real Group Station has maybe 74 songs where I compose instrumentals, sing, songwrite, and rap. 74 different tracks, most of them are mine. And I also do instrumentals like New Age, video game music, and orchestral music, and that's over 100 different tracks right now.
So we also play the piano really well. That's where we originally got our video kind of stuff in. But this is my brother's CD. Like this is actually pretty old, maybe 4 years ago right now. We even made CDs of everything, and it's just, boy, it's just tough. It's like when I think about Vincent van Gogh, who never made a cent throughout his lifetime of being alive.
He didn't sell one painting.
He didn't sell one painting. I just feel like that's us. Despite all this talent. I wanted to show my portfolio. I know there's a lot of people that think that we don't do anything with our life, that we're kind of nothing, that we're losers,
and
but
to
that's
be
not
honest
true.
with you,
I video edit every day.
A lot of our time, we're probably not as hardcore as like a 9 to 5, but
it's just sucks because I know we have
But
talent.
as a creative person, a lot of it is writer's block, and if you have writer's block, you don't want to do anything.
So that's why I feel like I gotta let a lot of this stuff go.
Why don't you talk?
I'm a part of a failure about doing it. So, and these are this. This is my portfolio, and I show it to everybody. I've been showing it to. See, we're both. So we have multiple talents. We're super talented. I don't know. Somebody said that we're like Renaissance people because we don't only are good artists. We're really good musicians. We can play the piano. My brother's obviously a really good composer, and I like to make great videos, music videos.
He's a video producer,
and I like to do it. I like to really do it all. The only thing I'm not really, and I also like to do computers.
I hate to say it, like I said in one video, we're totally creative that we pretty much sacrifice everything.
Yep. So
and we sacrifice not only have a disability, that too, but I sacrificed the 9 to 5 so I can follow my creative pursuits.
And relationships.
I was gonna get in a marriage, and I sacrificed that because I knew I wanted to follow my creative pursuits.
I'm saying it's not easy. You still got to make sacrifice with this lifestyle. So
the reason why we're showing you this because we're at a point where you might have to actually make an adjustment, and
it just sucks because I feel like I failed. I see a lot of these other people amounting to something, and I don't know. I maybe it is the lack of hard work ethic, but I wake up and I just feel like I don't want to do it. I'm not motivated. So
it'd be a lot easier.
Is all my purpose in life is just work? I don't know because we have so much talent.
you still don't want to. You still want to get a full-time job, but you don't want to work overtime because you still want to have some creative balance.
That's very true. I feel like it's about balance. I know a lot of people are fine working like 10 to 12 hours. Sorry, I don't really care because I am working to make money, to meet people, to form those relationships. But at the same time, even though it feels like I'm letting these passions go, I'm sorry. I just can't. These are this is my life. My music, our music, our art, our films, our fitness endeavors. It's
a lot of it takes
right now.
time.
You see a whole bunch of talent. I see a whole bunch of talent. Yet this society
We're just not marketable.
Only sees money, and we don't make
I just feel we look bad in front of our friends because we don't work. Because they don't seem to value.
And I think they're not the only ones. In the end, they're kind of right.
I feel like creative people are only valued when they make money, and if not, they're kind of tossed aside.
And that's what kind of sucks. So I showed you all the kind of stuff that we've been going through, and even in this piano tuning stuff, look how big this binder is. That we still been trying. So I'll say, to me, I feel like I work still on something every day. I do videos every day, even if I don't feel like doing it. I do something every day. Travis does tend a little bit, but his is more sporadic. I've been trying to push him to work harder so we can get those views, but even with CAD Story, he's not interested in doing editing, and I just feel like at this point, I don't know, folks, we're already almost 35. I feel washed up, and it's just, I'll still work, but I don't think I can let go of all this creative stuff because this stuff is like our life's work. It's me and
what is the first question people ask when you go meet a stranger, like in an appointment? What do they ask you?
Yep.
They ask, "What do you do for a living?" And what do you honestly say? It's embarrassing to tell people that we don't work, so we just lie.
I don't tell them that I do interviews. I did a little bit, and they probably still think they want me at that normal job, and it's a fight because my ideal of who I am does not fit the ideal man of what a person should be.
Especially with
I don't feel comfortable when
relationships.
Yep, I feel much of my confidence it's like down the drain when it comes to relationships. I don't have anything to offer aside from my talents, but that's who I am deep down. Deep down, I feel like it doesn't matter what anyone talks about, as long thinks about you, as people are saying. As long as you're happy and just doing what you really want to do.
But it affects you still.
It still affects you at the same time. Yeah. I don't know if there's anything else to say. It's like all this is our life's work. We've been trying to study. And it's just disappointing that my brother can't have that backup plan right now. And it just sucks, guys.
So I guess I'm really not. See, I had a janitorial job for 6 months. That's the longest job I've had.
UPS too.
UPS was another 6 months, but those were just jobs to get distracted from. There weren't jobs with intent where I wanted to go somewhere with my life. They were just here and there. And my janitor job was just because to get the DBT therapist off my back because they were hunching that I needed to start working.
So some questions that we have for you guys. Based on all this, are you a creative individual, and do you find it hard finding work? And second, if you have suffered from mental health issues, was there ever a point where you feel comfortable getting off disability, or you think you're just going to be on disability the rest of your life? Is there jobs that you actually find yourself kind of happy in?
Do you do volunteer work?
Do you do volunteer work? And this is another thing. I'm okay with doing volunteer work. My brother is not. We kind of had an argument not too long ago. I'm going to go to an old folks home and bring the rabbits for free, and I was gonna play piano, but I decided not to because it might take too long. But my brother still, it doesn't matter. His whole identity is this art, and I don't care if people see it as just garbage. It's worthless. He wants to be paid. That's just in his mindset. Maybe you can explain it.
You know, just recently, Kyle was producing a video, and we originally thought that she'd pay us because she said she would, but then there was not necessarily an excuse, but there was a reason we couldn't get paid right now. So we are people that are obviously taken advantage of because people don't take the arts seriously. So we feel like we're somewhat trampled on and we're not getting our voices heard. We feel that our friends are affecting our ability to want to continue this lifestyle, and we're fighting our own internal struggles regarding whether we should stay creative in spite of not making money.
Can you tell them the story about the therapist?
But what they're oh yeah, I had a therapist, and the reason why I quit last maybe 3 years ago at least is because she said to me that if I had your lifestyle, I wouldn't want to date you either, and that kind of threw me off because deep down I wasn't sure if I really wanted to change, but it kind of upset me that like I was really hardcore and trying to find a relationship, and I was lonely and not feeling that great, and I wanted someone to lean on, but she said you got to pretty much change. You pretty much got to suck it up, Buttercup, and I didn't take it too well.
So this is the last message I want to talk about. So this is a story about Jim Carrey and his father. I don't know if you guys know this, but his father pretty much gave up all of his creative stuff. I guess he's like kind of a comedian, musician, but he gave that up for an accountant job. And the irony is he did that, took care of his family for a little while, but then the job, unfortunately, got canned. So they end up living on the streets in a van, and they end up being homeless. So what Jim Carrey stated, it's better to try and do something that you have passion about, that you really love, and fail at that, than actually doing something that you just can't stand, that you can't hate, that you don't want to. I don't know.
People these days don't do what we do. They don't follow the creative path. They don't follow their passions. They don't. They don't take the risk.
It's not easy as some people think. I mean, like we already said, we're sacrificing relationships.
There is some stability with having a 9 to 5. There is some stability just settling down with a relationship. Hence, if you don't get divorced, having kids, just having a stable job.
And we're lucky. We don't have kids. We don't
living
have any
on your own, independence.
We're not in debt. I want to be. I don't know.
Well, do you want a relationship?
I think I do.
Do you want to move out?
I think I do to an extent because I feel like I have to learn how to live for myself. At the same time, I can't be that person that's just going to focus just on. I know I saw this computer guy that has a whole bunch of certifications. I don't think I see myself as that. I don't think I see myself running a company because maybe, I mean, if it makes me happy, but the creative stuff is kind of who I am still. I mean, I think I let a lot of the art stuff go. I haven't been doing a lot of art, but what I've been really sticking on, even if my video is my video production, I even though I hate it, I still want to do it. It's still, I wish I could wake up wanting to do it every day. That's my problem. So that's why I feel like if I get a job, maybe I'll be more motivated. And my brother I feel like has been in a stump as well. He hasn't even done music or anything art related. So my therapist has been suggesting. Oh, she pretty much laughed when we asked her, "Do you think we're losers?" And she said no. And I think if you're a good therapist, you probably don't want to tell your clients.
We even got a guy that's making 200 views with explosion of followers and subscribers and commenters.
Josh Hiddy.
Yeah, Josh Hiddy was reaching out to me. I wasn't expecting that because I only have above 150
what
subscribers.
What did he say? Say something about society, or
he did say something that you can't. Society has a different perspective than you, and that we're not losers. But I guess I took it not personal. I just took it kind of hard since I thought he was just this guy that made it big in such a short amount of time that I probably wouldn't be paid attention to. But he took a few times to comment back, so
we appreciate that. That's kind of a little shout out. So I guess we'll end it here. I think that's all we have to say. This is kind of our struggle, being the creative Vincent Van Gogh versus being the stable guy. My brother and I have switched majors, and I could talk about myself why so many times. It was because of this fight. Money, stability makes me feel like I'm a man. The problem is I'm not that person. I'm a person that's creative, artistic, and not that. So it kind of fights, and it's unfortunate because that's why I couldn't stick with the majors. I felt like I would have been disappointed no matter what route I chose. The money side, giving all the art, or the art side, but for giving the money at the same time. I wouldn't say I'm totally content. So right now I'm just trying to find a balance.
This is also a shout out to Cody. He's another follower of mine on Beyond Bipolar blog. He wrote this really lengthy comment on my last video on a loser on Facebook, and he actually appreciates for the videos I've done in Caesar towns.
He says he
He actually is. He's not jealous, but he feels that if he didn't do drugs, he'd be able to be as creative as
which
us.
isn't
and he
true.
seems to
I don't. I think it doesn't matter. You can still be creative whether you've done that or not. And also, I guess we'll shout out to Daniel Irishman. He's our father, who's bald. He lost his hair because he drives too fast.
But he seems to accept.
And
us
David
a lot.
Riddle, I guess he's been pretty supportive. But there's a lot of people that support me on Korean adoptee stories, which I really appreciate.
But it's just
Amongst
not.
the cat
There's no
community,
money involved.
like Jody
so.
Gill and stuff. But all my friends. But there's just no money. And so, is this the truth? You don't want to do no volunteer work, even though our CAD K mama says you should volunteer. What's your opinion?
I don't know.
Do you still feel mad?
I still think right now it's probably best to set the foot down and try to make some money off of it, whatever you can.
That's still gonna be you then.
Yeah,
you don't think
probably.
it's worth it? To me, in my opinion, I think it's still worth it to do stuff for free anyway, because I feel like it gets your foot in the door. And
Yeah, but
I
then
don't know. But my brother's more head honcho with the money part, and maybe he became that way because I told him you got to get a job
Pretty
in
much.
order to support his
Yeah, so
marriage.
I just think
so,
I want to support the way I want to do it. I want to do it creatively. So
but
it hits a lot of heads for people that don't want to pay too, especially for creative stuff.
so
They ask for your service, but when it comes to paying you, they don't do it.
it's not as
It's not easy to ask someone either.
It's not a priority, unfortunately.
So we
And
have
I
a
know
lot
a
of
lot of
different
this stuff sees
priorities.
like play, and I don't know. Even there's a guilty conscience in me. I see this stuff as play. It's like a little child just coloring his books. But
Yeah, but don't you? If I knew I could be successful doing this the way I want to, like my original goal was just to make music, compose music, and get big on YouTube, where I just get a whole bunch of views and
I feel like we were
followers
those
and
guys
subscribers
that
and sell
kind of
albums. And
were
I was
close,
never a
but-
performer, so that was my original intention. It just never fizzled out. It just fizzled out. So it's probably time to do a different opportunity right now.
So thanks for listening. I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to address.
No,
But this is all the stuff that I wanted to talk about and kind of getting stuff off my chest. I'm still talking to my adoptee competent therapist. My brothers can join at any time he wants if he wants to. But right now, I think I'm just been putting out my resumes, and I'm in computers, and I like computers. It's still fun in my opinion. It's not art, but hey, if I can just go in, get out, like 8 hours. I hate to say it. I if someone's gonna make me work 12 hours, I guess that's okay. But if it's gonna be a consistent thing, I gotta tell you, bosses, I can't let this stuff go. This stuff is like my passion, my video editing and stuff. So I'm just trying to find a balance right now. So this is Kyle with Travis Beyond Bipolar blog. If you like this video,
Please comment, like, and subscribe, and hit the bell button if you want to see future videos.
all right, take care.
Take care. Bye.